Well, if you move it, it's gonna
If
fall.
you touch it, it's gonna fall. Why are you messing with it? You're not licensed to mess with it. I didn't give you permission to mess with it. You're gonna make it fall.
Ella can fix it.
Yes, that would happen. It's just something don't touch the window. You're not allowed to.
But if you go to open the window to take the book out and it falls.
Yeah, I always grab it first.
You break your foot.
I always grab it first to make sure that doesn't happen.
That could hurt somebody.
Do you think she gives her parents as much of a hard time?
I know her parents.
Does she give them a hard
I know her
time?
parents since I was younger.
She gives them a hard time.
You need to let her down.
At least it's
You know who gives your
She's
parents
a
a hard
delight.
time?
Oh, are you a delight? Is that what your parents would say?
Yeah.
Oh, rock on.
Well, my parents, I don't necessarily agree with them, but I love them.
Did you see the picture when she was dressed up as Santa?
Yeah. I think.
I thought that was funny. Wasn't it Santa?
You should have worn to school, Ellie.
No.
You should have.
Or this class only. Bye.
Right. Did you want me to close the window, by the way? Tiffany, to the hallway with that. What is it?
Just pencils. I'll throw them out though, I'm done.
Pug Mac? What? What is Pug Mac?
Did you take the history test?
Is that your nickname?
What'd you get? Was it out of 30?
Yeah, it's out of 30. I don't know what I got, but like I only had a guess on like 30.
The U.S. history test? That shit was nice.
Whoa, language. Come on,
I
I'm
mean,
talking
that
about.
stuff was nice.
Even
Ladies are
then,
present.
like all the ones that I had a guess on, if you could literally like look at the other answers and be like, there's no way it could be that, there's no way it could be that. It's like it's just kind of
Okay. Good.
I got 23 out of 30.
I'm nervous.
What?
I'm gonna take the next hour.
Who do you have?
History, good luck.
Do you have Richards?
I studied really hard though. Like,
Is that you have Richards?
Yeah,
That was hard.
a little bit.
I had Smiley.
I didn't study though.
I didn't either. Did you guys play Kahoot in class yesterday?
No.
Oh, we did.
Did I have all the answers?
No. But it was like big. Actually, a lot of the stuff on the video actually was kind of on the test.
And he didn't give it.
Well, we only did it because we were complaining. We did it because we were complaining with learning. Learning targets don't do anything for us.
They don't. They're so
Exactly.
stupid.
Do you have Richards?
No, I have Smiley, but they did the same thing.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
I don't know.
The learning targets
Here's-
review.
We have an essay on our test.
Really?
Well, not like a whole like.
Write
She
it.
said, yeah, write something. I have a guess what it's gonna be about. It's gonna be like, do you think that the atomic bomb was a good or bad thing?
Oh, we already
Like,
did
it's
that.
something easy. I'm
Do
sure.
you think it was a good or bad thing?
I think it was a good thing, definitely.
Yeah, that's fun.
You guys think it was a bad thing?
I think of that.
You guys don't even know about the atomic bombs.
Yeah. Being from
You learn
Japan.
so much of them.
Let me tell you something, children.
If you've gone to Hiroshima and seen the.
It's like, I could see both sides.
Everybody talks about how horrible it was, but do you know what happened before the atomic bombs?
Yeah, we learned about it.
The firebombing of all these different cities?
Yeah. Tokyo.
100,000 people killed in one night.
And they
Oh,
still
Mr.
bombing.
Eggers, did you read a book or something?
Night after
Yeah,
night
that's
after
what's
night they
fun,
did
right?
though.
Like,
They,
unarmed, so they can
they
bomb.
dropped firebombs and burned all these people alive,
If they
civilians.
didn't do it though, war still would have like went on and so many people.
That's what everybody
would've
says,
died.
yeah. But I think they would have given up already. I don't know if we need the nuclear bomb. Everybody
I
said
think it's
the,
messed up how you bring civilians into it.
yeah, hundreds of thousands, millions probably, of all the firebombings they did. Whoa.
How many civilians were killed in like
And what?
None, they don't attack civilians.
Pearl Harbor? Did
Pearl Harbor was
Oh, in the movie.
Okay, well, it was mostly against the Navy.
The Nazis
They
attacked
committed a
civilians.
war-
I don't know about the
The
Japanese.
U.S.
Oh no,
Japanese attacked
Japanese
civilians.
had horrible internment
Yeah.
camps. They did awful experiments on people that were as bad as the Nazis.
The Japanese even raped the civilians.
Oh, yeah, never mind. I did.
Well, that happens in every war, it seems.
Yeah,
Not that
they
it should,
took
but-
pregnant women and cut open their stomachs and took the baby out and then threw the baby up in the air and tried to catch him on a sword. So
They actually like, is that made up?
I'm being dead serious. We read a whole article on this.
Bro, what?
A lot of
Yeah.
that stuff I just don't believe happened.
can't be Japanese improv.
Like,
Then every country likes to glorify their own, and then like they make the other country look horrible and terrible.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm nervous. Do you remember like any questions on it?
There's like,
Did it ask like about like? It probably did. Like all of the like.
about what?
But like,
I'm trying to think. Like the Iowa.
Iowa?
Can I use the bathroom? Or I'm trying to. I don't know.
Iowa.
As long as you know that Japan is like in the Pacific, you're good.
Okay.
Noted.
no.
I'm trying to do fire.
Well, did I hear the F word?
No,
Because that really would be, you know, wanting.
you heard messed
I
up.
don't want to be messing up like that in my class. Not when they're innocent young women in the classroom. Knock it off.
Was it hard?
No, I just really bad.
I already
I'm
started
like
school.
really
But like, there are some questions that's like, if you didn't know the answer, it's like eliminated, so it's obviously not like.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, it's not
Allied is
I didn't study at all.
I mean, like,
And then access, I remember it because access is jig. And then the allied is bro. BRU. It helps so much if you just think of it like that.
Why weren't you here this morning?
She had a dentist appointment and I asked what flavor she got from the whole class and my teacher fell over laughing. She thought it was so funny. I'm like, that wasn't even funny. I literally just wanted to know.
What?
Yeah. It's so gross. I always get bubble gum.
You like you both.
What?
You get bubble gum?
I get bubble gum. When you go to the dentist,
Yeah.
I brushed my teeth right before.
It with the mint of bubble gum like today.
Like it was after bubble.
I don't get that.
Charles, is
Oh,
Charles okay?
he's not here today either, so I
Really,
don't
it's
know.
cold outside.
Did you text him and see if he's okay?
He said he was
I didn't
doing
check,
okay.
I don't know.
He said he was doing okay.
When did you talk to him?
Earlier.
Oh,
Like
earlier.
it was a decent amount of time today. We got like
Oh, we do that.
maybe like 15.
We usually like, we usually get.
Mr. Eggers, instead of in the package, can we
We got
get
8.
What are we?
It's because ours.
I was running. I was running on.
You can finish the packet really fast and then read after.
I was literally running. So,
I couldn't.
I wanted to do
on the agenda today, what you have planned, the packet, and nothing else.
Reading time if you finish early.
You see how I didn't say just?
Hi, Paris.
Yeah.
Hi, Paris.
Paris, we're not
Are you the guy who swore earlier, just a second ago? I mean, come on now, don't you start telling other people.
What?
You said the S word when you walked in, and then I think I heard the F word.
Hi.
She was like such a
I don't know what happened.
She was yelling at us. We were speaking down
When she doesn't, when you don't finish it, she doesn't.
Look at bro.
She like gets mad at
Yeah,
us.
she gets mad.
Miss Ziegler? Oh my god, it's horrible. I don't want to ask her any questions.
Yeah, she's like,
We're not gonna be able to work here today. I doubt it.
What's wrong with asking her a question?
she doesn't answer.
What?
She ignored you, or?
Yeah, no, she just.
We just got Panera.
She tries
She
to.
gets mad
I
at
never
you.
do
Charles? Yeah.
Did he text you back? He's okay?
He's okay, he just got Panera.
Why don't you get his butt in the class then? If you can get.
I know.
I believe that was the bell, and we're ready to go. So let's begin.
She got her
Mr. Eggers, why were you this concerned when I wasn't?
Yeah, she took her test.
How do you know I wasn't this concerned when you
It
were
was
here?
2 days.
Because you didn't even notice I was gone.
Well, I noticed when it happened, I just forgot the day when you were back that you hadn't been because I was busy. I totally noticed that you were busy. Although, in my defense, since you moved back there, you haven't talked that much.
He's in her email phase.
Are we
You
reading?
used to participate more.
Come here. Want to hear a top secret?
Also, you didn't say anything about Ava being gone. Or Fatty.
Well, no one cares.
Yeah, people shouldn't care.
About Ava?
Sienna's missing.
No. We
Sienna's here.
specifically don't.
Sienna's here. Ava Bokout is missing.
Ava's missing. Ava's missing.
Burkout, wo bist du denn?
Still in bed.
Get out your worksheets.
I'm so sorry.
Peyton is missing. I don't see Peyton sitting in her seat. She must be absent. Ah, there's Peyton. But then Matthew is absent.
He's supposed to watch for quite a
Netherwich and Alex.
It's coming in later and later. I mean,
Yeah,
I
he
don't
had a
care.
pass yesterday. Last time.
All I know about lupus is it makes your hands weak. It makes your whole body weak.
Oh, I think that's what Riley's on. Riley's on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not my mom. My mom has it, you know. And like my whole family. So I mom.
So then me and Taylor are going
I was like, make sure to monitor to make sure you don't feel sick. Why are you up
They weren't even maxed out Wednesday.
All right.
She can't.
Now that you all have officially gotten out your handouts, Alexa, now that you've all gotten the handouts out. Alana, did you get it? Bosco, everybody?
She's supposed to be in it, and she like half.
We're flipping to page 2. Página 2, por favor.
Is it the back?
Ahora!
Is it the back page of one or this page?
The back page of 1, it's page 2. It doesn't have a number, but
Oh, it
it's page
literally
2.
says
It says participial phrases. It has a 2 next to it. Yes.
That's so aggressive about it.
What?
Yeah, we got like literally like a minute.
Is that a dress?
Oh, really? No.
Oh.
Yeah, because we're taking so long.
Are you wearing a dress?
No, she's holding a dress.
No.
It's a, what is it, a scarf?
No, it's a
A
sweater.
sweatshirt? With polka dots? Pretty cool.
Get out.
You, turn around. Knees all the way turned. No, fully commit.
I don't like sitting like
Alright, that's better. But this way you're less inclined to turn behind, and look back. So we're looking at participial phrases today, and every page in here is focusing on a new structure. Still, if you go back to the page before, it was focusing on positive phrases, and yet there are all these other grammatical structures in those sentences, right? That's just how sentences are. They're made up of a bunch of different structures. But what's featured will be in bold for that given page. So all the ones in bold are the participial phrases. And really, the distinguishing feature is that the phrase starts with the participial form of a verb. What is the participial form of a verb? No one knows. I don't care if you learn the terms so much, although you are going to hear about participles going forward in your life. Dangling participles, that sort of thing. I hear that phrase even in movies once in a while. Have you ever heard that phrase in a movie, a dangling participle? Are you going to be on your phone the whole time? The participle, they have two forms. There's the past and the present participle. Present participle is the ing form of a verb. Can you give me an ing verb? Running. Walking. Singing. Conversating is not a word.
No.
It might become one if people keep using it though.
Oh.
Conversing, yeah. Okay, So yeah, you just put the ing form there, and then if you start a phrase with the ing form of a verb, that becomes a participial phrase. And we see some here in the upper left. The example, it's stumbling and slipping on the rocks. It's two participles, two present participles there. There are also past participles that can be used as participial phrases. Next, the ed form of a verb, or sometimes there's a regular form, but it's not the simple past form of the verb. It's, I can't think. Future perfect, I think they call it. So it's drink, drank. Drink is the simple past. What's the other one? Drunk, right? So drunk would be the past participle form of that verb, and that's what you would use if you were creating a participial phrase. But twisted, bent, broken, swum, right? He had swum, so we would use swum. How would you use that in a participial phrase? Like if the river had been swum, I guess you could have used it. It would sound awkward though. Some verbs maybe don't make such good structures for participial phrases. You'll see that if you play around with them. There is a past tense one in number 3 though. If you look in the upper right, can everybody put their finger on number 3? Upper right there. Where it says beaten by the damp wind, that's a past participle, beaten, from the verb to beat. And then what follows after it can be other phrase types. Usually it's like we see, let's see, stumbling and slipping on the rocks. On the rocks is a prepositional phrase, so they kind of coupled that with the participial phrase. But really the participial phrase, just really that participial word. Nodding upon their purchase, that's also with the prepositional phrase after the present participle. Holding his wet hat, now that's got a pronoun, a possessive pronoun, and an adjective and a noun after the participle. So you can put other kind of things after the participle itself, and it kind of gets grouped in there as part of the phrase. It is a little weird because I think in number 4 and number 3, they have actual clauses embedded in those participial phrases. So there's more going on there than just a phrase. We'll get into clauses a little later. You guys know what an independent clause is? That's Santa Claus after he got a divorce. Yeah, there's a lot of grammar humor out there. You know what a paragraph is? When you got 2 graphs. Oh, I got a laugh? Wow, thank you. Wait, that was a sarcastic laugh, wasn't it? Dang it.
I didn't really understand.
I don't care. I'm gonna take that. I like it. Even a sarcastic laugh would help. All right, so you have to do the same thing, and with every one of these examples, or every one of these phrase or clause types, they have an example at the start. So there's one here too with a model sentence. The horse found the entrance, that one. And then there are the choices that you would have to use for your combination. And then they give us the actual combination, the right answer for that one. And then they give us an imitation that they created. So you just have to kind of follow up. You're creating one combination and one imitation for each of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sound fun? I had fun doing them. See, challenge yourself. It's like Wordle. Everybody loves Wordle. Then you should love sentence combining. You take that back.
Who said they hate words?
Tiffany? It wasn't?
No.
Who was it? I'm sorry, I take it back. I didn't mean to. I thought I swore it came.
I think it was Alexa.
Who hates
It
Wordle?
wasn't me.
It was Alexa.
It was.
It was not I, technically.
It was not I.
It sounds weird, doesn't it? But technically, that's grammatically correct. All right, get to work. It's writing prompt 10. And I made it due tonight at midnight, since I know some kids won't finish right away. All I want to see is that you made an attempt to try to do this. So you should have 8 sentences written. If they're wrong, don't sweat it. I'll go over the answers a little bit. I mean, you should sweat it a little bit. You want to do a good job. And then, do you think we should have sentence combining quizzes at some point after we get good at this? I like that idea.
Going from the end.
Only thing is, it would take forever to grade. They have to look at every single sentence individually and make a determination. Unless I made a multiple choice, maybe.
Yeah.
You're sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So I just figured I'd try it now. So at the very, so we ended up doing a bunch of changes. We had to change formations, we had to change stuff like that.
Alexa,
Yeah.
it's writing contest. You want to get your electronic device going there. Get onto the canvas.
And then we had to do last formation. And she realized that she couldn't go. Because they were not here. So we basically had to do and then she had to, like, you know, just something like she's smart. So she had like a meeting in college. I don't know, whatever she did. I know. They look like great college application. I know. Yeah, I know. It's just, yeah, exactly. I think it's like, say, oh, I never got like a high school sport.
You know what looks good on college application, I think?
What if I'm not even going
All
to college?
these sentence combining
What
activities.
if I'm not even going to college?
I'm not going to college.
I am, but still.
What if college is going to you?
I doubt that. I'm not smart enough for that one.
Alexa, you're so smart.
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, don't tell me.
I'm just like.
My grades would say
Yesterday
otherwise.
wasn't that bad.
There are too many people out there who will sell you short. You don't need to be one of them.
So much better than I am.
So no one's asking me any questions. Are you doing okay? Oh. Well, let me know when you do. Your computer died? Oh. No idea. Are you covering it up? Are you afraid? Do your best. I'll put on the board in a little bit. What's up? Oh, you know, on number 2, I switched the order a little bit. I switched D and C. Yeah, as long as you match the pattern of the actual model sentence, or if you think you're doing that. I don't think I switched the order that much on any of the ones, but it does happen sometimes where you do that. And you have to add words. Sometimes. There's one where you have to add a preposition, and one where you have to add a subordinating conjunction, actually. I don't know if you know what that is either, but maybe you'll recognize it. should write it fast though. Security. Yes. Gesundheit. fast. People have all these nervous thoughts and whatever going on in their minds when they're on a date. And that was the idea, that you would create an actual scene with some dialogue, and some of the characters' thoughts being revealed too. And play around with that because that's all you have to do with that. How many people have finished? Just the one or two? I'll probably put the engine up in about 8 minutes. Who's that one? Peter? Paris? Can I talk to you in the hallway for a second?
That was me, sorry.
No, so she wasn't in the States, which is fine, because it was a mess trying to put her in, and then I had to be next to her freaking fine, it was atrocious. Yeah. That's, I hate talking, but it's fine, I have a good mood, I'm not, it's just bad. So I was like, okay, thank God, just whatever, you know? So she's gonna be in a mess for Irish show.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's after spring break.
Well, it hasn't done anything, right?
She hasn't done anything, so why is she still here? That was so mean, I'm sorry. But she hasn't even performed once. What? Like, and she just texted me group chat and said, when's the next practice? But everybody knows that we haven't even scheduled a practice with spring break and everybody being out. Like, everybody knows this. She said that so many times.
Does she know they're doing it?
We don't have a review.
What are you doing?
No, that was her saying.
You laughing at me again, Alexa?
No.
This is all Gucci. So there,
I love your outfit.
it's Gucci.
I love it.
answers on the board that I came up with. One of them, it was a little, I thought there were two ways you could do it. And I, of course, picked the better one. I'm an Ninja grammar master. No, I don't know. It's debatable, some of this stuff. And grammar is not always so crystal clear when it comes to the rules. There are things that are debated to this day, like can you end a sentence with a preposition, or can you use a coordinated conjunction at the beginning of a sentence? You guys have opinions about those things? Do you debate them in Snapchats and all that with your friends? Or is it all just wheels and doors? It's just wheels and doors, isn't it? Your homework is to start a grammatical debate on whatever you go on. What do you guys use now? Instagram? Snapchat? Is my voice working?
No.
Yes. Oh, you got an earbud in. That's why you're not responding. AirPods or whatever they're called. Oh, my thing got unplugged. Yeah. Grammar is not always as certain as some teachers might present it. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, this one, you know, it's a little more certain actually because you have the pattern of the sentence, the model sentence that you're supposed to adhere to, right? You're supposed to follow it. There isn't a lot of leeway, although still there might be some little changes you can make. This first one, yeah, I had put a new pile of debris cluttered up the driveway. It's a subject, and then we have a verb cluttered, which is parallel to rain. Oh wait, I should say a new pile of debris. So this subject has a prepositional phrase within it, and the sound of monotonous axioms also does. It has this of here. You don't always have to be that accurate when you're lining up and trying to make parallel structures, but it's worked out here based on the choices that they gave us, of course. So then cluttered up the driveway, blows rain through the forest. So through the forest and up the driveway are prepositional phrases. That's parallel structure. Then we have a comma, and we have and the insect. So that's a subject now, and the tenants. But then right after the subject comes a comma because we're inserting the participial phrase there. And we have gazing at the disgrace is parallel to nodding upon their purchase. A participial, present participle, and then a prepositional phrase at the disgrace, which is upon their purchase is also a prepositional phrase, so there's that parallel structure again. And then we get the main verb, crooned like old women in the model sentence, and watched with heavy hearts. Watched is the verb, and then there's a prepositional phrase with heavy hearts. Cool. And then, yeah, number two, I had two scenarios that could work, but then I decided I didn't like the second one, so I crossed it out, but so I'll still point it out. Oh, his coat wet is actually called an absolute phrase. It's featured later on in the handout, but yeah. So he stood there, the dog sat up. It's close. There's no preposition. Wait, is there a preposition? Yeah, it is kind of, right? It's not an adverb. I think it is functioning as a preposition there. So that's parallel, up with the preposition, of course. And then we have that absolute phrase, his coat wet, his tail wagging. And this is where I swapped the order, right? I took choice D and put it before choice C. I think it works better that way. We have a comma, and then we get the participial phrase, clenching the rolled newspaper, and beg to pass on. Which is a participial phrase, right? Because that's participle. Are you guys packing up early? Because I think we still have 4 minutes. I'll go faster though. The third one, we get the subject, the upholstered pieces, parallel to the little shack, and then there's these two adjectives, rattling, rotting barn, and we have expensive, polished, and then the noun tables. We have a verb, had moved into the dining room. It's a lot of prepositional phrases that are being parallel here. So the with seesaws and into the huge dining room are parallel. And then we get the past participle, beaten by the damp wind. And then here ours is covered with endless painter's claws. Covered being that past participle. And then, so that is the beginning of a dependent clause. It has a subject, verb, protected,